Well, good evening, listeners. Thank you for listening to Lament of Hope podcast. It's a gift for me. I'm getting to speak with Enrico Colantoni. He's been in so many television series. He's been in so many films, but my favorite has always been Flashpoint. I hope that's not offensive to
Oh,
you.
not at
But
all.
that's
Not at
that's always
all.
been really close to my heart, and you were my favorite character in that. So,
Oh, well, thank you, Daniele.
yeah, so if you
Tell
haven't,
me why. Tell me why.
well, he was so empathetic. Usually when you
Yeah.
watch like American Cop or anything to do with, first responders, people are typically kind of cold. Like what's really
Mm-hmm.
highlighted is the grit of whatever's happening. And with
Mm-hmm.
Flashpoint, there was always a story. There was always two sides to everything, but also your characters never became cold. They always had an emotional response to something. And I have a friend who works as an EMT and a firefighter, and
Mm.
even from what she's told me with the people who've been there for way longer than she has, like there is still an emotional response. Usually people
Mm-hmm.
don't get super cut off to the point where they don't,
Mm-hmm.
nothing affects them anymore. But with
Mm-hmm.
Flashpoint, like you guys just, it always was that way. No matter how many years you were in it, it was like the story
Yeah.
was still very impactful to you. And like, yeah, certain things
Yeah.
hit you more than others, but I just really appreciated that.
Um, well, that's why I appreciated being on that show, and the response we got from those first responders was always, thank you for keeping everyone human,
Yeah.
because you forget why people want to do a job like that to begin with. And you also forget that they witness isn't a normal occurrence for most human beings. So their resilience and their ability to stay connected to that emotional side. And if they need the help, that's what we really hope to um, do on that show, is just to remind these first responders that you know, it's normal to feel pain.
Yeah.
What you're going through is completely normal for you, and there's always help, and you're never alone. And so that inspired me to do work with charities that deal with first responders, and a lot, giving them, because sometimes they don't have the service that they work under
Yeah.
isn't always supportive. They're sort of still of an old school mentality of suck it up. And I've been working with a lot of charities that deal with the alternative way to get help, anonymous help. So they don't have to go through the service themselves. They can go through, and they can maintain anonymity, and they can really get the help they need. Organizations like Wounded Warriors of Canada and
Yeah.
Boots on the Ground, and I've Got Your Back 911. These are all charities and that are committed to helping their own, up here in Canada. And I know there are a lot of charities that exist in the United States as well. But yeah, I think that's why Flashpoint resonated with so many Americans, because it's an alternative way to look at things. We talked first and then shot if we had to. We didn't shoot and then ask questions later.
Yeah, no, and I wanted to, like, did it affect you at all? Like, did you find it hard at times where you felt really drained from the certain stories you were telling, or?
Yes, my brother was a police officer in Toronto for close to 30 years, and so that was, the story, the show was always close to my heart because of that, and for the people that I knew through him. Um, but just for me, just the toll it takes, the empathy you have to bring to play characters like that. And I know it's make believe, but um, it did become draining. It did become exhausting, and there were times where I was so connected to some stories. I thought uh, if I had just acted better, I might have saved somebody. You know,
Ah,
it's sort of a weird place to live. It was just like, oh damn, because you'd go to bed and we had to, you know, um, shoot someone, and you'd go to bed thinking, damn it, how could I have changed that? Well, I can't. It's in the story and it's entertainment, but it's hard to separate it when you're waking up first thing and go, fuck, if I had just acted better, maybe we could have changed the story a little bit. So, no, I remember feeling that way. Yeah.
well, because I interviewed David, and he told me that,
David Payko?
yeah, and he told
Yeah.
me that it really hit home for him in some of it because he had a friend who committed suicide, and so it was like very raw for him on some of the suicidal episodes.
Yeah.
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 Did
Yeah. I mean, we live in a land of make believe and they don't, they don't. But we always strive, at least shows on that and on Allegiance, we really it's science fiction basically is what it is because we want to paint a picture of what policing could look like,
yeah,
Allegiance is very unique in that we talk about restorative justice, What would the world look like if the police were behind restorative justice? And that's an interesting concept, but we can do that on television. We can talk about it, and it
yeah,
works well on television. But and hopefully it inspires someone down the line to see it in a different way. I mean, right now there are too many. I think there are too many police officers who are doing the job for the wrong reason.
hmm.
They're doing it.
What would you say is the wrong
Well,
reason?
they do. Well, they do it. They do it for the benefits. They do it for job security. It's something they can manage, but they don't realize the toll it takes. And unless you're a responsible policeman, it's going to affect you,
Yeah,
and what the consequences are. And it's not your fault. And you also know that you're working within a system that doesn't necessarily support you for the same job that you're being trained to do,
yeah,
because there's always, you're always guilty in the eyes of public opinion. If something goes horribly wrong, you might be doing your job, but suddenly police are bad, you know? And so they have to know that. They have to know that to do their job well, they will be vilified by the public and not necessarily supported by their peers. It's like it's really just an interesting. You really, really have to be in love with the idea of public service, and being of service,
yeah,
and most of the good ones are very A-type personality, so that lends itself to beating themselves up if something goes wrong. They just want to get it right and they just can't.
yeah,
They'll never always get it right. So those are the ones that really suffer the most, I think. But those are the ones you want. Those are the ones you want knocking on your door. Those are the ones that want to help. Um, yeah,
Did
yeah.
you, out of, because you've done so many roles, two things. Do you like television more than film, or vice versa when it comes to
Mm.
acting? And then do you have a particular role that you found the most challenging because it was the most unlike you?
Yeah. No, certainly. But the only difference between TV and film is the time restraints that you have.
Yeah,
Film has much more luxury to, unless it's an independent film, and but even then you have time with character, and I think time is the greatest commodity for an actor. How much time you have to work on a character to let it drop in and feel comfortable. TV, it happens pretty fast, and unless you're on a show for more than a season, you don't have that time to acclimate to that character.
yeah,
By season 7 and 8, it's old hat. You know the character and everything's great. But there are a lot of shows that get canceled after 6 episodes, 10 episodes, and actors really don't have the chance to really ground themselves in that place. So that's really the primary difference. I compare it all to the theater because the theater is is new every night. I mean, that is certainly the actor's medium. That's we all want to do that, I think. I hope. I certainly do. But you can't always because, well, the money isn't there by comparison.
It's true, yeah.
You know. But no, there hasn't been a role necessarily that's been so difficult. Um, you can't find something to sort of draw on. I mean, I've only been fired once, so that should tell me something. You know,
It's really good.
I've only been fired once. Yeah, yeah,
I've not been
yeah.
fired yet from any of my jobs.
Yay,
Praise God.
yay,
But
yay,
that day may come.
yay.
So who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
But acting
So
obviously
this
is
is,
different than your 9 to 5.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you burn yourself out over a job, and then you have time in between jobs, and you can recover and realign yourself with your life and who you are, and then you get another job, and you kind of immerse yourself in that, and then you come out of it. It's just it's like time travel in a lot of ways. You're just living in fantasy, and then you come back to reality, and then back to fantasy and more reality. It's like I think it's a wonderful way to live.
Don't do you
But
Oh, go ahead.
this podcast is not your full-time job. Do you do other things?
Right. Yeah.
Are you going to tell me what those are?
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm a legal assistant.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, so I work a lot with um things dealing with like constitutional law and uh dealing with people who are in the like broadcasting network. Um
Mm-hmm.
so it is very different from this. I don't it's nice because this medium allows me to have conversations with people, whereas more of what I do for
Mm-hmm.
work, very email oriented. You don't converse very often with people like over the phone or anything like that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. And you like that. You like talking to people.
I do. Yeah, I do. I was gonna say, for me, it's interesting because I always find it such a gift to talk with people because it helps me also. You can get very immersed in your own life and what's going on, and then when you talk with other people, it expands your perspective. It helps you also to realize that the things you're going through, or even just what life looks like for you, it's small sometimes. When you're talking to so many other people, you're like, wow, okay, this person understands this, or they're going through this, or their story they got to this point in their life, and that's just very inspiring and encouraging. um so I find it really just encouraging to me, even if it wasn't a podcast that I published. It was like it's just been always great to hear people's stories.
It's very cool. It's very cool yeah, there's a lot I can say about that. Just what you're trying to do is reach an audience within a sea of podcasts. Oh my God.
I
Everybody has a
know.
podcast. It seems like, and what makes yours unique? Probably the title, um, Lament of Hope, something very grounded in spirit when it comes to that, and not just the connected dot biographies that you're seeking. So it's something that is intriguing. We can talk about what drives us as opposed to what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's more. I don't want to say it's more important, but I think that's more interesting. Because you could talk to a lot of actors, and I have, and you all do have a lot of similar things that you do and things you say. But then when you ask why, it's all very different.
Mhm.
Um, did you
Yeah,
did you always want to do acting, or was that something that surprised you?
I'm not sure. I mean, I know, the story of it is I took an elective in college and university in Toronto, and it was a theater elective, and it was more fun than my psychology class, and it was more fun than my history class and English classes. So, and the people inside that class were my first champions who said, "You should do this. I think you could do this." And I go, "Really? What?"
What was the did you
And
do a
they,
play in the theater class?
well, it was high school, that was always fun, but it didn't mean anything. And but when it was in college, that people were older, and we did some plays, but it was mostly classes and stuff. We did some year-end stuff that it wasn't big, but the encouragement that I got from not only my teacher but from my peers was to go to New York. And I go, okay, all right. And then from there, I got the encouragement from them to keep going, and it was really, I just relied on the kindness of my peers to tell me you should do this, because I really didn't think one could. There would be, so I started off that way, and then things got easier as I started to believe that it was possible. Um,
You didn't.
but that was always, I'd walk a fine line between, life itself and the spirit world. It's just like making sure that I was aligned with what God wanted me to do, and that it was for the highest good, and that I wasn't being silly, and I was being responsible, and I would approach it with responsibility, and I would approach it with integrity. Um, and that's what's gotten me through. It's sort of like I'm a working class actor who just wants to bring his best to everything he does and with everybody he meets.
Is there
You
a
know?
story you want to tell that you haven't told? Because I feel like with films, like there's so once in a while I come across a film that's just a really precious story that I haven't seen
Yeah,
before. The way it's told isn't,
yeah,
is unique. Is there something
yeah.
you would like to tell that you haven't yet?
Well, I mean, stories are pretty much all derivative, at this point. It's all about struggle, and you need a protagonist and antagonist, and overcoming adversity and rising above it. So those stories are always beautiful. Um, and then you have, your the Christian stories that are connected to God, and um, but I think there's something in the middle between those two, just a story that allows that I mean, I think we all as humans need to hold ourselves accountable.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to blame, it's so easy to play victim, but really a story about acceptance in this body, in this time, and we're all participating. We're all participating, we're all in it, we're all playing, it's all, you know it's all theater. It's all theater. And in the end, we all take a bow, and we go, you know
Yeah.
our lives should be celebrated, no matter at what level we're playing. It deserves celebration. I don't know how to encompass that in a 90-minute story, but how everyone's life uh should be celebrated.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
you
think
know
it's definitely we don't I don't think we do. I don't think we value life very much. We say we do, but I don't think we do. I think it's only very certain lives that we find,
yeah,
useful.
I think we're scared. I think we're too scared to appreciate our lives. So many of us come from survival, and
Hmm.
the walls, and me versus you, and you versus me. And unless we actually know I mean, how many stories are there about people who care more about others than themselves? Those stories are rare.
Yeah. Do you think there's a time in your life that did you always think this way, or was there a transformative time in your life when you think grew in this more
Well,
empathetic viewpoint?
yeah. Well, I think, the life of an actor is such that you have to imagine things with a little detachment. especially in the theater when you're aware of performances that are happening and there are people watching you, and at the end you take a bow. Even at a young age, I found the concept very interesting in that, wow, there is a transition, there's no end to any of it, and there is a sense of being watched, you know, and
Yeah.
and um so that always lent itself. And I was brought up Catholic, so, and I was a good Catholic, I was a good Catholic in that I wanted to find a way to get closer to God. That was my mission. And the theater became much more important than going to church because that's when I felt the closest to God. The Catholic Church sort of kept me separate from God.
Yeah.
And the theater allowed me to really experience life with such consciousness and aliveness. And it was like I wanted more of that. How do I find that? How do I find more of that in my life?
Hmm.
Through the spirit. So you read philosophy, you read Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism, you know what I mean? It's all wonderful and it's all eye-opening, but to deny myself that alignment with that would be denying my own humanity. I mean, even in scientific terms, right, when we think about the sun, my goodness, 93 million miles away, and it's been burning bright for billions of years, and this planet is with the flow of everything is just like, come on. I'm not breathing me, something's breathing me, and I am grateful for that, whatever it is, without giving it a name, but I call it God.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, to align myself with that life energy source, I think it's a good thing. Everyone should have some kind of alignment to that through religion or philosophy or the theater.
It's interesting to me when you're talking about when people, every, when you bow, like when life ends, people should clap in the sense that like you lived a good life, and so people should remember. I think,
Hmm.
it's interesting to me though, because like some of the actors I really have loved, like enjoyed their work, like Robin Williams. He's one,
Hmm.
I just so many of his films made me cry, made me laugh. And then I remember as a kid,
Hmm.
finding out he committed suicide or passed away, and it
Hmm.
was really hard for me to understand. It was like there had become this black spot that had come out, like you'd
Hmm.
seen this beautiful, glorious career, so many people touched. And then in the end you found out, he wasn't very happy. Which seems to be because a lot, even comedians I've interviewed, they're very deep thinkers. They think so much about
Hmm.
life, and like um they make such good jokes because they know life really well. That's why it's funny.
Hmm.
Um
Hmm.
and so when things like that happen, it's hard for me because I'm like, then people don't clap anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go out badly, you know,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
then the world doesn't clap anymore because it's like, well, you didn't actually end well. And a lot of people, specifically like even entertainment industry, like they just don't, like they do a very amazing career, and a lot of people don't seem like that seems to not be enough even, when they at the end.
Mm. You know what? It's hard to judge, I don't know what was going on with Robin near the end. I mean, I've had people who've taken their own lives, and it's painful for me. Can't imagine how painful it was for them.
Yeah.
um to go to that extent and to really really suffer like that. I i don't know, Danielle. It's like it's hard for me to judge. I wouldn't, I don't. I just know that there's a transition. There's always a transition, and there are always lessons, even when we leave this, we've got stuff to learn, whether it's how do we get through the pearly gates, or how do we get out of hell, or how do we get out of something? It's just like it's all learning. It's eternal. You know what I mean? It doesn't end with this. There's some people call it a reckoning, some people call it a transition, but I know there's something more. Nobody gets out alive, you know what I mean? Or everybody gets out alive or something. I don't know. But my sense is that you have Christianity in your bones. Am I picking up on that?
Yeah, no, I definitely do.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's a fun thing to say, Christianity in your bones. Um, I mean, I definitely think it started out in my bones as a kid, think something you
Yeah.
had to do, and then over time the Lord just really showed himself like in life, and I was like, okay, this is actually real, it's not just a concept my parents passed on to me, because you were mentioning the Catholic Church, and my mom was Catholic, and that was her experience too, where she just felt very dead whenever she would go to the Catholic
Hmm.
Church, and she really wanted to know more about God, but it didn't allow her to know anything about him. And then, like, one day, I think she told me a high school student walked up to her and had the Bible and said, "Hey, do you want to know you can go to heaven?" And she was like, "What? You can know that?"
Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
girl said, "Yeah." Showed her the Bible.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that just changed everything for her, because she had never had a nun or a priest or anyone tell her she could know.
yeah, yeah. They never really could know. They couldn't tell me either. So to find my own way. And you know what? I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know, but I know that, yeah, because my God, are we talking about this?
What? Why are you laughing? What's
Well,
funny?
because what's funny is, the whole Jesus is coming, look busy. That always makes me laugh. Jesus is coming, look busy. Or Jesus saves, but Gretzky gets the rebound and scores. It's like there's people make fun of it, and I'm not trying to make fun of it. I just it's still a concept that separates me from God. And I know,
No,
I understand going through, um, Christ, but I'm more fascinated with the Jesus that I read about. Who he was
mm-hmm.
in the flesh. Because I think what he was telling us, and forgive me, I don't really want to, challenge you in any way, but
No, this is your interview.
yeah, yeah, I
You
know,
go
I know, I know, I
ahead.
know. I don't know why we're talking about it. We're talking about why we do this, and I'm still searching. I'm still a student of this thing. I'm 62 and I'm not done yet. I want to
Yeah.
learn more, but I considered myself a hardcore Christian for many years, but it's like it still kept me separate. It still kept me separate. And the whole idea of, oh, if he's came and he shed his blood to save me, then why do I feel like I'm still need forgiveness again and again and again? And the concept of being connected to the greater source of the expansiveness of it all, and self-forgiveness. And yeah, Jesus forgave me a long time ago, but when am I going to forgive myself?
Hmm.
I know that. I know Jesus forgave me. I know Jesus forgives me. I know God forgives me. When am I going to forgive myself? That's been the journey for me.
Hmm.
How do I keep aligned with that sense of forgiveness?
Did I,
So,
when you, did you always feel like you just had to keep, and forgive me, I don't know a lot about the Catholic faith because I didn't get raised in it. I've been to mass maybe
yeah,
once because a,
yeah.
a friend passed away and it was a funeral. But like, did you just feel that you constantly had to, when you're talking about not forgiving yourself, was it just constantly over and over again, like it was never enough kind of feeling?
Well, yeah, for sure, for sure. It's like the idea of confession and having to go to a priest for forgiveness, and what, I'm going to call it, what would I call it? Um, because I mean, Catholic is Christian too. We come from the same place, but I didn't want to go through a priest anymore.
Yeah.
I wanted a direct line. That's probably the simplest answer I can think of.
Yeah.
You know?
But I feel like I don't know. I know Scripture says, that you can go directly through Jesus. You don't need a priest.
Yeah, that's the difference.
But you feel
That's the
like it's
difference.
interesting because you're talking about like, do you also think, because a lot of people I've talked to who maybe were raised in a Christian religion or even just a Christian understanding of God, they said that the Christians around them were really hypocritical as well. So they just didn't get it. Even if somebody said, and I have many friends in my life now who are just really questioning their walk with God because they're like, I see what's going on in the world. I see what Christians say, but it just doesn't seem very open minded or accepting to me. And so that's also something that I wondered with when you were mentioning the different religions that you've actually gained wisdom or insight from.
Yeah, because you know what? I don't believe in I don't, I mean, I believe there's only God.
Mm-hmm.
It's just God. So if it's only God, then there's no duality. There's no good versus evil. It's all good.
I see.
And we as humans, historically, environmentally, are just fucking it up.
We do a good job at that, don't we?
We do a good job. So I stopped blaming God for all the shit that's going on in the world a long time ago. I think God is just looking at us going, I've given you everything. Come to me and you won't have to do this stuff. And it's like, but humans are more interested in power. They're more interested in the knowledge, the tree of knowledge. We're still living in that mindset of like what we don't know, and we got to know before the other guy knows. And it's Iran versus the United States, and it's China versus the United States, and it's Canada versus China, and it's like, really? Really? Do we forget that our DNA is like in all of us is like that much apart from each other? Not based on color, not based on faith, not based on anything. We're all the same person and we're all responsible.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to blame God for the stuff that's going on. That's just misalignment. That's just fear.
That's interesting though, because
Anyway,
well, I was gonna say a lot of people do though. A lot of people do think
I
it's
know.
God's fault.
Oh my God.
But I
Uh-uh.
would ask you why not though? Have you not gone through seasons of your life? Because I have, where I thought it was God's fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because we have a relationship with God, right? We want a one-on-one relationship with God. We keep thinking that God is outside of ourselves and we have to go to him. You know what I mean? But what if God's already here? What if we don't have to go anywhere? God is always present. If God is good, then why is this happening? Well, because maybe it's all theater. Maybe there's no, I mean, it really is. It's living in duality. It's thinking if I'm bad, I'm going to go to hell. If I'm good, I go to heaven. There's one or the other. And it's like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure. I think you're either aligned or you're misaligned.
Hmm.
And if you're misaligned, you're going to do some stupid things. You're going to create your own hell. If you're aligned, you bring goodness, you bring joy, you celebrate, you're expansive, you're coming from love, which is God, the essence of God. And you got to believe that. So that's the part where humanity has to take responsibility and say, when Jesus said, if somebody slaps you, give them the other cheek. It's like that kind of mindset is like, okay, it's not me versus you, but it's just like there's something in you and me is like we're the same. So if you're smacking me, I'm going to take that as a lesson and know that we're not aligned. And let's align. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's get back on the same page and like, here, take that other cheek while you're at it. What? Yeah. Yeah, because there's no me versus you, man.
but
There's just
I was gonna ask you,
tell
has there
me.
been a time in life when you got slapped and it was hard not to slap back?
Well, yeah, as a kid, I saw the hypocrisy of of Catholicism, not the church necessarily, but what my parents deemed as good. They were like, my dad and my mom fought. Sometimes it was physical. Um, they didn't have faith.
Right. Yeah.
They went to church, but they didn't have faith. They still thought they were doing it on their own. You know what I mean? They still couldn't let go and let God.
Yeah.
There was no faith. And so my sister, my older sister, she was 10 when she passed. So I was a 6-year-old boy witnessing this chaos
How did
in my
how
family
did she
over the
die?
loss. She was diagnosed with leukemia.
Oh.
And that was, back in the 60s where they really didn't know how to treat that yet. They've got a better handle of it now, but back then. And so all I saw was chaos come from it.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to wonder where the faith was. You can believe in God but not have faith.
Hmm.
You can believe in God but not trust God. How does that work?
It's a good
I
question.
believe in God. Yeah, I believe in God, but I don't trust him. I was like, really? What do you trust?
Huh.
Well, you trust yourself. I'm going to do it. And it's going to be this because we're going to do that. And it's like, no, no. So I've been on that journey my whole life, looking for, you know, looking for that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was really Jesus was my best friend for the longest time, and he still is. He still is. I'm not. I know who he is. I know who he is in my heart. I know he's king. You know what I mean? I know, but I want more. I don't want to wait for Jesus to come down and show himself. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to meet him in the here and the now and everything I do. I want that spirit of life itself.
Yeah.
And what I do allows me to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it back to what I do. It allows me to do that. It allows me to be fearless. It allows me to take chances. It allows me to feel embarrassed. It allows me to feel pain. It allows me to feel all those emotions that we as humans just don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
We don't know how to feel it. And if we have a good cry, we know Jesus is there. God is present. When we're having a good cry, it's like, oh my God. And we realize we did something really stupid. It's like, oh my God, yes. Celebrate the stupidity is like, oh my God. But if you're not aligned to that, you're just going to keep beating yourself up, man. So a lot of those people that are questioning the world is like, no, man, no. It's like we're all capable of creating a reality that is beautiful. And we start with ourselves, right?
Hmm.
We start with ourselves. It's not based on what's going on over the ocean or what's happening in the United States or in Canada. Politics, it's all designed to do that anyway. So what do we do? I'm responsible for bringing joy right now in this moment.
Yeah. It's
That's it.
it's
I
just
try to do it at my work. I try to do it with my kids. I try to do it with everyone I meet. I try to do it now with you.
is it
It doesn't have to be hard.
No, no, you're right. It doesn't have to be hard, but at the same time, life is really rough. And that's a very selfless attitude. And I'm sure you probably would say that you don't have that all the
Yes.
time.
Oh, but wait a minute. What makes it rough?
What makes it rough?
Yeah.
For me, I would say because I don't I want to do good things, but I also don't. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh
Like if
yeah. Yeah. You
somebody,
get tired. Yeah.
well, not
It's like,
just
yeah,
that.
of
No, not
course.
just that. If somebody says something nasty to me, I don't want to ignore it. I want to say you're a jerk. You're a nasty person.
Okay.
Don't like you.
Yeah.
But of course,
Yeah.
that's not the right thing to do. Or even just
I,
if my husband sometimes, if he's having a hard day and we're in the car and there's this innate sense of, well, you're wronging me, so I need to do something back to you to pay you back for this, you know? I think that's the thing is as that's what makes it hard is yourself. Yourself makes it hard. And then
yeah.
and then when we talk about the politics and you're talking about the world, oh, that adds another pressure and then you're like, wow, I am I am consumed by my own sin and the sin of the world. And that's hard.
Yeah.
Cuz like I
But
mean,
didn't he also say, I don't, I'm not, I live in the world, but I'm not of the world,
mhm.
You're aware of it. You know it's going on, but it's not who you are. That's not who you're going to end up. So you bring that awareness to the world. And I know, I've been married twice. I know all about the adversity of relationships. You know what I mean? It's
Relationships are
not
hard.
easy.
Yeah, they are.
They're really hard. They're really, really hard. And if you're not willing to learn from them after every shitty relationship, even an argument, it's like then it's just about knowing where your true north is. And we slip and we forget, but it's like, where's my true north? Where do I want to be? Who do I want to be? Do I want to do people really want to keep fighting?
I don't know.
I mean, do they? It's a rhetorical question. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because they fight to win so they can feel some kind of victory or but it's there's the spirit and there's the human. That humanness really confuses everything, I think. But you're right. I hope you're married to somebody who can, wipe your tears when you're crying and hold you when you're angry. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just like that. You know what I mean? It's like it's never about not fighting. It's about the recovery time. It's always about the recovery time,
That's true.
isn't it?
You're right. When you marry, it's a
Yeah.
promise of future love, not the present.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and growth and learning and
But I'm also sorry because I know
you
you've
know.
had a rough time of that. So,
Oh, yeah, and the difficult part with that is knowing that you tried, but sometimes they don't see it as that. They see the betrayal just by not wanting to participate anymore. And it's just like, I don't want to participate anymore.
yeah.
It's taking me away from my true north. I like to dance. If you don't want to dance with me, then why are we dancing?
Yeah, that's still really
You know?
painful though.
Yeah, but pain is pain. I feel the pain. I go through the pain. The pain is fleeting. Pain turns to joy. Joy turns to elation. Elation turns to more confusion and pain again. I don't know. I don't know. But that's the life of an actor. You know what I mean? That's what my greatest education has been how to feel.
Yeah.
Allow myself to feel that
Yeah.
and not cast judgment on it and not feel afraid of the emotions and not just accept it. This is what I'm feeling right now.
Do you think our society
It's confusion.
do you think our society's getting better at feeling?
I think they're getting better at anger, but that just covers feeling,
Hmm.
you know? It's like my favorite passage, and I can't quote where it comes from, but when the Roman soldier went to Jesus and said, I have a son, will you heal him? He goes, if you have faith, he is healed. He goes, help me with the part of me that has no faith. If we approach it with the understanding that yeah, help me with the part that doesn't have faith. It's like then you already have a place in heaven, man. It's just like that's it. We don't do that though. We're not aware of how frail we are. We're not aware of how we stumble. And if we just ask for the help, doors open, man. And that's what feeling emotion is to me.
Hmm.
I feel it, I see you, but I know I'm not, I know this feeling is good. I know it's all good. I don't know.
No, I agree with you.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. I don't like to
Yeah.
see war. I don't like to see people suffer, but I know there are people that have the ability to stop it, but don't. They do. But I'm not talking about, the president of the United States, just him. I mean, the people involved have the power to stop it, but what is it? They're holding on to something else. Hey, let's talk about acting again.
Well, I was
Then yeah, it's all acting. It's all acting.
no. You are you're
It's all the
you're a
same.
deep thinker, though.
Yeah.
It's very rare I get on an interview and that's immediately what we go to. I think we were five
No, we
minutes
do
into your
it.
career.
We didn't even
Well,
blink.
right?
You just said praise. Well, you just said praise God, and I go, okay, I know where this is. I know where this is gonna go.
Well,
The minute you said praise God, it's like, okay, good.
hey, you're typecasting
We're
me here.
no, I'm not. I was just I it was an invitation and I accepted it.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to make it.
Yeah.
You didn't
I
have to.
understand. But I'm a listener and I want to know more about I know you as much as you want to know about me.
Yeah, so you took a cue. Okay.
I did.
Good
I
acting,
did.
right? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, before we
Exactly.
end, I did want to ask you, because I would like you to mention this. You did say that there was that series. You said, and forgive me, I haven't seen it yet, The English Patient?
English teacher.
English Teacher. And you said,
Do you have Disney Plus? Do you have Disney
I
Plus?
do. Yeah.
English teacher. You can watch all 18 episodes.
Can you tell the audience
It's a comedy.
what's it about? And then why it wasn't renewed?
Well,
You said it wasn't renewed, so it won't keep
yeah, it
going.
wasn't really a lot of people. Just because you need people to watch it, and not enough people were watching it.
Oh.
But it was like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like critically beloved. It's like everybody who watched it thought it was hysterical because it's a show that really deals with current affairs. And we like to make fun of everything on both sides of the aisle, let's say. Whether you're a conservative or you're a liberal. It's like this show is about a gay English teacher working inside a very conservative Texas high school. So you can
That must be
imagine, it's
hard.
like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So he's dealing with things, and we're all trying to deal with things, and the politics of things, and kids, how the educational system is sort of all sort of askewed, and how the asylums are running the inmates are running the asylum in the educational system now. It's like we're afraid to educate.
Hmm.
We're afraid to hurt people. We're afraid to challenge people. We're afraid. It's fear, man. Fear and anger. And this show really, in a very funny, comedic way, tackles it all. And it's so refreshing to see both sides come together in this show because you have the ultra conservative gym teacher, you've got the very liberal English teacher, and I play a principal who's just like, oh, just wants it all to go away
Do you have
and go back to just,
any middlemen who
yeah,
are
well,
not
I'm the middleman.
super anything?
Yes, yeah, I'm probably the closest thing that has a stronghold and just, why can't we all get along? You know what I mean? Why do we have to talk about this? No, 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 we can't talk about that now. But but he doesn't want to get canceled either.
Yeah.
We live in so
How ironic that
yeah,
the show that talks about that got canceled.
yeah,
Yeah, that's really ironic.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I dare you to watch it. That is a challenge. I challenge you to watch it.
No, I think it sounds
It's a lot of
interesting.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You seem extraordinarily open-minded, Daniele.
Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, no, of course it's a compliment. You're curious above all else. You're curious.
Yeah. No, because I agree
Yeah,
with you.
yeah,
I think it's important that we have a conversation, and I grew up where you didn't have conversations with people that didn't agree with you.
yeah.
And I think that's wrong.
Because
So I
yeah,
don't think that's biblical.
no. Well, but it is life. You know what I mean? It's like the man was crucified for what he believed in. There's still that.
You're right.
There's
Yeah,
still
you're
that.
right.
You don't. People still can't challenge the status quo and not freak people out.
Well, we just did. We
You
just
know,
did it.
we did. I hope somebody, you know, gets a whiff of this and maybe starts open their minds up and you know.
Well, I give you a high five for this
Anyway,
discussion.
Daniele, it was my
It was
pleasure.
a
It
gift.
was my
Thank you for
pleasure.
talking with me, and I'm going to take a look at this show because I think it sounds very interesting.
English teacher, and email me back and tell me what you think. We can talk about that
I
too.
will.
Okay,
Okay, you know I'll email
cool.
you.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye, Daniele. Ciao, ciao. Buonasera. Ciao, ciao, ciao.